The power of definite purpose. Discover how a single obsession can bridge the gap between where you are and where you belong. Most people believe that success is a matter of luck, timing, or inherited advantage. They are wrong. Thoughts are things, and they are powerful things when they are mixed with a definiteness of purpose, an unbreakable persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into reality. You do not get what you want. You get what you are obsessed with. The hard truth is that the majority of men are defeated before they even begin. They see a mountain and they focus on the height rather than the climb. They wait for the perfect conditions, the right amount of money, or the right connections. But the reality of high achievement is far grittier. It begins with a decision so firm that it leaves no room for a retreat. It begins when you decide to work with the greats, not just for them. Observe the nature of a true obsession. When a man decides on a singular goal, he often finds himself in no position to act upon it. He may lack the funds. He may lack the reputation. He may lack the invitation. These difficulties are sufficient to discourage the average person from making any attempt at all. But if you possess no ordinary desire, you will find a way. If you cannot afford the fare, you travel by the freight train. If you look like a commoner on the outside, you carry the spirit of a partner on the inside. When you stand before your opportunity, your appearance is the least important thing about you. What matters is what you think. What matters is the expression of a face that conveys a man has come to get what he after. When a man is willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get what he wants, he is sure to win. This is not a theory. It is a law of human nature. If you make up your mind to stand by until you succeed, the world eventually steps aside. Success is rarely a sudden explosion. It is a slow, methodical display of your merchandise. You may find yourself doing unimportant work for a nominal wage, but if that work places you in the orbit of your goal, it is the most important work of your life. Months may pass where it seems nothing is happening. Your goal may remain out of reach, but something critical is happening in your mind. You are intensifying your desire. You are becoming ready. Psychology tells us that when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. You must remain ready until you get what you are seeking. You do not say, "I'll try this for a while, and if it doesn't work, I'll find a different job." You say, "I came here for one purpose, and I will accomplish it if it takes the remainder of my life." Imagine the stories men would tell if they adopted a definite purpose and stood by it until it became an all-consuming obsession. Bulldog determination and persistence are designed to mow down all opposition. But you must be vigilant, for opportunity has a sly habit of slipping in through the back door. It often comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. This is why so many fail to recognize it. They expect opportunity to arrive with a trumpet blast, but it often arrives as a problem that needs a solution. You must take personal responsibility for your vision. No one is coming to hand you a partnership. No one is going to gift you your dreams. You must choose to be the person who stays when others leave, who works when others sleep, and who believes when others doubt. Your mindset is the only thing you truly own. If you mix that mindset with a burning desire and a refusal to accept defeat, you will transform your thoughts into the material riches of life. The bridge between your current reality and your ultimate purpose is built with the bricks of discipline and the mortar of persistence. Do not look for the easy way out. Look for the way in. Look for the opportunity hidden within the struggle. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. Think with purpose. Act with certainty. Stand by your goal until the world has no choice but to recognize you. Victory belongs to the man who knows what he wants and resolves never to give up until he finds it. The question is not whether the opportunity will come. The question is, will you be ready when it arrives? The will to win. The hidden bridge between a burning desire and its physical reality. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you demand through unrelenting action. Most people are waiting for a golden opportunity to knock on their door, dressed in a suit and carrying a briefcase full of cash. But reality is different. Opportunity has a sly habit of slipping in through the back door, often disguised as misfortune or temporary defeat. It might be hidden in a machine nobody wants, or a task everyone else deems too difficult. If you are looking for the obvious path, you have already lost. The truth is, your current circumstances, your lack of money, your lack of education, or your lack of influence, are not the barriers you think they are. The only real barrier is the absence of a definite purpose and the refusal to stand by that purpose until it becomes a reality. You must decide right now if you are a person who dreams or a person who executes. The difference between those who build empires and those who watch from the sidelines is the capacity to know exactly what you want and the determination to stay the course until you get it. Consider the power of an intangible thought. It costs nothing to conceive, yet it is the most valuable asset you possess. When you align a clear vision with a stubborn refusal to accept no as an answer, you begin to transmute that mental impulse into its physical counterpart. You don't need a head start. You don't need a massive bank account to begin. You need initiative. You need faith. You need the will to win. When everyone else looks at a new challenge and sees effort and struggle, you must see an opening. While the salesmen are complaining that the market is tough or the product is unproven, you must be the one to step forward and say, "I will make it work." That is how partnerships are forged with greatness. That is how fortunes are thought into existence. It isn't magic. It is the application of known principles through disciplined persistence. But there is a warning you must heed. For every person who succeeds because they stayed the course, 1,000 others fail because they stopped 3 feet short of the goal. They encountered a setback, they felt the sting of a temporary loss, and they quit. They let their fear of failure outweigh their desire for success. Discipline is not just about starting. It is about the refusal to stop when the excitement wears off and the hard work begins. You are responsible for the bridge between your current state and your ultimate vision. No one is coming to save you, and no one is going to hand you the keys to the kingdom just because you have a good idea. Ownership means realizing that your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. But if you know what you want, and you refuse to settle for anything less, the universe has no choice but to move out of your way. Your obsession must be backed by a plan and followed by immediate action. Hesitation is the graveyard of potential. Look at your life today. Are you waiting for the perfect time? There is no perfect time. There is only now and the will to make it yours. You have the capacity to take an intangible impulse and turn it into gold, into influence, into the life you were meant to lead. It requires you to burn the bridges behind you. It requires you to stand by your desire until it is realized. Do not be the one who quits when the gold is just out of sight. Be the one who digs deeper when others walk away. Your mindset is your greatest asset or your heaviest liability. choose to make it a powerhouse of conviction. Take responsibility for your results. Stop making excuses for why you haven't started. The world is full of people who could have been great, but lacked the grit to finish. Don't be one of them. Decide what you want, demand it from yourself, and do not stop until the world hands it over. This is the only way to think and grow into the person you are destined to become. The reward is not just the wealth. It is the knowledge that you conquered yourself and forced life to pay the price you asked. Stand firm. Stay disciplined. Finish the job. The power of persistence. Discover the hidden force that turns every no into a yes. The difference between the person who has what they want and the person who is still begging for crumbs is not talent, luck, or education. It is a single, unshakable decision that no does not necessarily mean no. Most people stop at the first sign of resistance. They retreat the moment a voice louder than theirs tells them to go home. But there is a power available to you, a raw, primal force that can bend the strongest opposition to your will if you refuse to budge an inch. The hard truth is that life does not give you what you want. It gives you what you demand. We live in a world that is constantly trying to push you back into your place. It yells at you to stay small, to accept your circumstances, and to go back to the comfort of your excuses. Most of you listen. You hear the bark of authority or the threat of failure, and you turn away. You retreat because you are afraid of the conflict. You are afraid of the switch. But fear is a ghost that disappears the moment you step forward, look it in the eye, and refuse to move. Think about the moments you have failed. Did you fail because the obstacle was too big, or did you fail because you accepted the first rejection as final? Persistence is not just about trying again. It is about a mental state where surrender is literally impossible. It is the refusal to move even when the hand of defeat is raised against you. When you stand your ground with a definite purpose, something miraculous happens. The opposition feels your certainty. It senses that you are not there to negotiate. It realizes that to stop you, it would have to break you. And most of the world doesn't have the stomach to break a soul that will not bend. This is about personal responsibility. You cannot blame the world, the economy, or your upbringing for your lack of results if you are the one who walked away when the door was slammed. Change is possible the very second you decide that your goal is a non-negotiable necessity. Whatever your 50 cents is, your dream, your family's security, your legacy, it must become something you are willing to stand for, even in the face of a fierce temper or a raised weapon. When your goal is a necessity, your persistence becomes absolute. Stop asking for permission to succeed. Stop waiting for the world to become polite or for the path to become easy. It will never be easy. The world respects strength, and it bows to persistence. You have within you a degree from the University of Hard Knocks waiting to be claimed. Use your experiences of past failures not as reasons to quit, but as the fuel for your next stand. Discipline is the bridge between your current reality and your ultimate purpose. It is the quiet resolve to stay at the door when everyone expects you to leave. It is the courage to take that one step forward when trouble is walking toward you. Your mind is the master of your fate. If you believe you are beaten, you are. If you believe you must win, the universe eventually runs out of ways to say no to you. Do not be deceived by those who tell you that you are inferior or that the odds are against you. The only superior force in this world is a mind that has been made up. When you lock onto a target and refuse to look away, you become the master of the situation. The fierce tempers of life will become as docile as lambs when they meet a spirit that cannot be intimidated. Go back to your work. Stand your ground. Look your challenges in the eye and demand what is yours. Somewhere in your past experiences of failure or defeat, there is a lesson waiting to be brought to the surface. Use it to regain all that you lost. The reward is worthy of your effort. The only question is, will you make the start and stay until the end? Success is waiting for the person who refuses to leave the room without it. The journey does not end with one victory. This is a lifestyle of refusal. Refusing to accept mediocrity, refusing to accept not now, and refusing to accept it's impossible. Every time you hold your ground, you grow stronger. Every time you master a challenge, you gain a strange power that follows you into the next battle. This power is available to anyone, provided they have the heart to use it. Take ownership of your silence and your speech. Stand there until the circumstances that once yelled at you sit down in awe of your spirit. This is your life. This is your 50 cents. Do not back toward the door until you have conquered. The gold within you. One idea can change your entire life. Stop looking for excuses and start looking for the gold hidden beneath the surface of your own mind. Most people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they stop 3 feet from the strike. They encounter a no, they face a setback, or they feel the sting of a temporary defeat, and they let it become a permanent tombstone for their ambitions. The hard truth is that the word impossible is a trap for the average mind. You have been taught that riches only come to those who work themselves to the bone. Yet true abundance begins with a state of mind, a definiteness of purpose, and the discipline to keep on keeping on when the world tells you to quit. Every time a prospect or a circumstance tries to bow you out, you must see the defiance in your own soul and declare that the sale must be made. The better portion of everything worth having is found only after the world has said no. Success is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of persistent application. Every failure you have ever encountered carries with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. When you analyze your defeats instead of running from them, you convert them into stepping stones. You must develop a defiance against mediocrity. When the world bows you out, you stand your ground. You must decide right now that you will no longer be a victim of the impossible. Life is strange and often imponderable, yet the roots of success are found in simple, commonplace experiences. The difference between the master and the servant is that the master analyzes his experience and finds the lesson within. If you lack the inclination to study your failures, you will never learn the art of converting defeat into opportunity. This is where the work begins. It is not about physical labor. It is about the mental alchemy of turning darkness into light. The shift from lack to abundance happens the moment you transmute fear into faith. Just as a light is raised in a theater so gradually that the darkness fades before you realize it, your reality changes when you master your internal philosophy. You are the sole owner of your results. If you want a different life, you must demand it from yourself first. Riches, when they begin to come, will arrive so quickly and in such great abundance that you will wonder where they were hiding during all those lean years. But they will only find you once you have prepared your mind to receive them. This is an astounding truth that contradicts the popular belief in mere struggle. When you begin to think and grow, you observe that wealth starts with a state of mind. It requires a definiteness of purpose and very little of the back-breaking labor that the world insists is necessary. You must acquire the state of mind that attracts, rather than repels, the greatness you seek. Ownership is the price of entry. Take responsibility for your thoughts, for your actions, and for your persistence. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. Your destiny is not something that happens to you. It is something you create through an unwavering purpose. The rules for success are ready for those who are willing to stake everything on them. Will you be the one who quits 3 feet from the gold? Or will you be the one who keeps digging until you strike the vein? Success is a state of mind. If you are familiar with all the rules of why things will not work, you are already defeated. But if you are willing to look within, you will find that one sound idea is all you need. The principles of achievement are practical and timeless. They require you to discard the average man's familiarity with failure. You must become a person who knows how to win because you refuse to accept anything less. Look at your life as a mine. You may have spent years digging through the dirt of disappointment, feeling the exhaustion of the journey. But do not let the dust blind you to the treasure. The most successful people on this planet found their greatest victories just one step beyond the point where their courage almost failed them. You are closer than you think. The frustration you feel is not a sign to stop. It is the friction of the gold being polished. Stand firm. Guard your mind against the whispers of "not yet" and "not me." You are the architect of your own abundance. Believe in the plan, execute the purpose, and watch as the lean years fade into a memory. The abundance you seek is not lost. It is waiting for the version of you that refuses to quit. This is your moment to claim the riches of a disciplined mind and a focused heart. Start now. The power is already in your hands. The master of your fate. Control your mind to command the reality you seek and the future you deserve. Open your dictionary and cut out the word impossible. It is a hollow term used by those who lack the courage to see beyond their own self-imposed walls. Success belongs exclusively to those who become success conscious. It is not a gift from the heavens, it is a mental state. Failure, conversely, is the shadow that falls upon those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure conscious. This is the hard truth. You are exactly where your thoughts have led you. If you measure the world only by your own small impressions and limited beliefs, you remain a prisoner of your own making. Many look at the achievements of the great and credit them to luck, genius, or some mysterious fortune. They are wrong. The secret to greatness is so simple that most are too blind to see it. It is the raw power of determination. When the world says a goal cannot be reached, you must command your spirit to produce it anyway. When your own internal voice whispers that a task is too great, you must order yourself to stay on the job until you succeed. Time is irrelevant. 6 months of silence may pass. A year of struggle may follow. But if you hold the vision, the universe must eventually yield. This is the principle of desire, knowing exactly what you want and refusing to take no for an answer. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul for one reason. You have the power to control your thoughts. The energy of this existence is a form of power that adapts itself to the nature of the thoughts you hold. It will influence you, through your own actions and decisions, to transmute your mental blueprints into their physical equivalent. You must understand that the human mind is a magnet. It attracts the people, the resources, and the circumstances that harmonize with your dominant thinking. If you permit your mind to be steeped in poverty, misery, and defeat, you are effectively ordering a life of lack. You cannot think in terms of failure and expect to harvest success. It is a law as fixed as gravity. We often refuse to believe what we do not understand, foolishly believing our own limitations are the proper measure of all possibility. But the only real limitations are the ones we set up in our own minds. Ownership is the bridge between wishing and having. You must take absolute responsibility for the content of your consciousness. Discipline is not just about what you do with your hands. It is about what you do with your focus. Action over hesitation is the hallmark of the successful mind. While others wait for the perfect moment or a sign from the stars, the master of their fate creates the moment. They understand that persistence is the insurance policy against temporary defeat. Every failure is merely a lesson in disguise, a necessary friction to sharpen the blade of your intent. Comfort zones are the graveyards of potential. To grow, you must be willing to walk into the unknown with a firm belief in your purpose. This purpose acts as a north star, guiding you through the storms of doubt and the fog of fear. When you align your purpose with unwavering persistence, you tap into a universal power that knows no boundaries. You become a force of nature. Stop looking for excuses. Stop blaming your background, your environment, or your lack of resources. The greatest resource you possess is the 3-pound organ between your ears. If you do not master your mind, it will master you. It will lead you down the path of least resistance into a life of mediocrity. But if you seize the helm, if you dictate the terms of your own mental climate, you can force life to pay whatever price you demand. The price of neglect is failure, a slow, agonizing realization of what could have been. The reward for mastery is a life of stupendous proportions. It is the satisfaction that comes to those who conquer themselves. You have the key. You have the power to choose success consciousness over failure consciousness. The transition begins the moment you decide that your thoughts will no longer be victims of your circumstances, but rather the architects of your destiny. Go forth with the knowledge that you are equipped with everything necessary to rewrite your story. The ether in which we move is filled with energy waiting to be directed by your will. Be bold in your asking. Be relentless in your doing. Be certain in your believing. Your fate is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Choose to be great. Choose to be the captain. Command your mind, and you will command your world. The architect of destiny. Your mind is a magnet for the life you live. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul, but you have likely never been told why. The truth is simple yet terrifying. Your mind does not discriminate between the constructive and the destructive. It will translate thoughts of poverty into physical reality just as quickly as it will manifest thoughts of abundance. You must understand that your brain becomes magnetized with the dominating thoughts you hold. By a process no man fully understands, these mental magnets attract the forces, the people, and the circumstances that harmonize with your inner nature. If you find yourself stuck, it is because you have not yet magnetized your mind with an intense desire for your goal. You must become so conscious of your purpose that the sheer weight of your desire drives you to create definite plans for its achievement. This is not about luck. It is about the law of attraction through action. The principles of success are not the invention of any one individual. They are gathered from the lived experiences of those who began with nothing, without education or influence, and rose to the heights of achievement. These principles worked for them, and they will work for you. The challenge is not in the complexity of the task,
but in your willingness to maintain an open mind. You are standing at a threshold where factual information can change your entire destiny. There is a far-flung power in a mind that has been properly directed. When you stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your mental state, you begin to dictate the terms of your existence. Success is a choice made in the quiet moments of discipline and persistence. It is time to stop waiting for a poet to explain your life and start becoming the philosopher of your own fortune. Your reward is worthy of your effort. This power within you is neutral. It is a servant that obeys the orders you give it through your persistent focus. If you feed it fear, it will build a prison of limitation. If you feed it faith and a definite plan, it will build a kingdom. Stop looking for external validation or a lucky break. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. To change your results, you must change the vibration of your thoughts. You must cultivate a money consciousness or a success consciousness so potent that it leaves no room for doubt. This requires a level of personal responsibility that most people find uncomfortable. It means admitting that your current circumstances are a reflection of your past dominating thoughts. But in that admission lies your greatest strength. For if you created your current reality, you possess the sole power to dismantle it and build something greater. The path is easy if you are willing to follow the proven laws of achievement. It is hard only if you cling to the comfort of your old excuses. Look at the men and women who have climbed the highest peaks of industry and art. They did not have a secret map. They had a magnetized mind. They refused to let the temporary sting of defeat become a permanent state of being. They understood that every failure carries with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. You must adopt this same persistence. You must become obsessed with your vision until it becomes more real than the room you are sitting in. There is no penalty for using this power, but there is a heavy price for ignoring it. That price is a life of what-ifs and could-have-beens. You have been given the key to the gate of your own potential. The principles are ready. The examples are set. The only missing ingredient is your decision to act. Do not let another hour pass in hesitation. Magnetize your mind, define your plan, and force life to pay the price you demand of it. The master of the soul is not the one who dreams the most, but the one who directs their thoughts with the most relentless authority. Your destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Stand up. Take ownership. Begin the transformation. The world is waiting to harmonize with the new version of you. The reward is worthy of your effort. Will you make the start and be convinced? Your life is the canvas. Your thoughts are the brush. Paint a masterpiece of power and purpose. The work is calling. A direct message for those who know they are meant for more. You are not short on time, talent, or opportunity. You are short on commitment. This is the truth most people avoid because it removes every excuse. The world is filled with individuals who are waiting for a sign, waiting for approval, waiting for confidence to appear before they move. That waiting is what keeps them small. Growth begins when you decide to act without guarantees. Life rewards movement, not intention. You can listen, learn, and plan forever, but nothing changes until you step forward and take ownership of your direction. Responsibility is heavy, but it is also freedom. The moment you accept that your results are your responsibility, you regain control. Discipline is not punishment. It is structure. It is the daily choice to show up even when motivation disappears. Persistence is not glamorous. It is quiet, repetitive, and often lonely. But persistence builds character, and character builds results. Fear will try to negotiate with you. It will tell you to wait, to prepare more, to stay comfortable just a little longer. Comfort feels safe, but it slowly erodes potential. Purpose is not found by avoiding difficulty. It is forged by moving through it. Belief is not blind optimism. It is the decision to trust your ability to learn, adapt, and continue. You do not need perfect conditions to begin. You need courage to start. Every meaningful outcome is the result of consistent action taken over time. Small steps, taken daily, outperform rare bursts of effort. The mind grows stronger when it is trained to follow through. Excuses weaken that muscle. Discipline strengthens it. You will fail. You will doubt yourself. And you will feel resistance. That resistance is not a signal to stop. It is proof that you are stretching beyond what is familiar. Progress demands discomfort. Ownership demands honesty. If you want change, you must become the kind of person who creates it. No one is coming to save you, and that is not a threat. It is an invitation. You have the ability to rebuild, redirect, and rise, regardless of your past. What matters is what you choose today. Take responsibility for your effort, your mindset, and your actions. Decide that hesitation no longer controls you. Commit to the work, even when the outcome is unclear. Show up with discipline, move with purpose, and let persistence shape your future. Start now and prove to yourself that you are capable of more.